What's going on, and welcome back to another video. I know it's like 2 videos in basically a month. That's kind of out of the ordinary for me, but I really do mean it when I say I want to keep making more videos. And this video is something that I've thought about for a long time and something that I've been wanting to do. I'm going to be showing off all of my film camera collection. So every camera that I own, I'm going to show off in this video. We're going to start from my very first film camera that I bought all the way to my most recent purchase. So here we go. So the first film camera that I ever bought was actually this Canon EOS Rebel G. I bought it from a friend of mine that I was in college with for I think $10, and this was the camera that originally got me into film. It's a really great camera. It's really simple. It's really easy to use. I recommend this camera a lot to people who are starting out film photography because it loads the film for you and it unwinds the film and everything. It just makes shooting film really easy and less of a scary kind of daunting task when you're first starting out. So here's a couple shots from this camera. Okay, so next camera is a bit of a jump from the EOS Rebel G, and it is my beautiful Pentax 6.7, my favorite camera that I have ever owned and I ever will own. I was in college at the time. I was doing a photo series on the town that I grew up in, and I wanted to shoot it in film, but I knew that I was going to have pretty large prints of the work, and so my teacher at the time suggested going medium format. And like every other YouTube person, I had seen a bunch of stuff about Pentax 6.7s and I couldn't help myself, so I bought one, and it is the biggest and best purchase that I have ever made in my entire life. I love this camera to death. It has some dust on it right now because I haven't shot with it in a really long time, so I think I need to get it back off the shelf and do some more shooting with it. But here's some images from my Pentax. I absolutely love this camera. Some of my best photo work that I've ever shot come from the Pentax 6.7. So So after the 6.7, I figured maybe I needed something a little bit smaller, a little bit more compact and handheld, but I had never tried a rangefinder before. So I bought this Canonet, the QL17, so the Quick Load 17. I love this camera. As a rangefinder, I never really knew exactly what that meant before I got this camera, and I fell in love with this camera. I call this my Leica. This is my mini Leica. Now, it is broken currently. The undetachable lens is kind of becoming detached, so I need to send it off to get it repaired. That's definitely on the list of things to do. But I love this camera. This is my travel camera. If I'm going anywhere and I want to bring a 35mm film camera, I always bring this one because it's done me so well, and I love the photos that it takes. So here's a few of the photos from it. After my Canonet, I was actually gifted this Argoflex. This camera's awesome. I've only ever shot one roll of film through it because it has a really gnarly light leak at the bottom because the body of the camera is actually cracked. But it has a certain look to it. It's a really cool camera, and it's the first ever camera that I had that had a waist level viewfinder. So getting used to that with this camera was actually really kind of fun and interesting. Here's a couple of photos from it. Like I said, I've only shot one roll of film, mainly because of the light leak. Maybe I need to shoot another one. This camera also didn't work when I first got it. The actual shutter was completely stuck. Shout out to my man Itai at Ball Photo in Asheville. He actually helped me get the shutter to actually release and work again on this camera, so thanks a lot. Now the next camera that I'm about to show you is a monster. This is probably the coolest, the best, most expensive camera that I own, and it is the 4x4 action camera. Check that out. I bought this as a joke on eBay. It was, I think, $5. I think it cost me more to ship it to me than the actual camera did. Again, I've shot like 1 or 2 rolls with it. It's really funny. It puts 4 of the same image on 1 negative, so I think it's made for like wallet size images and stuff like that. Really cool camera. One of those, again, that I maybe should use a little bit more, but it kind of just sits at the bottom of the shelf and collects dust. It's completely made of plastic and just has like a really not so great build quality to it, but it's such a cool little like fun camera. So definitely need to shoot some more rolls with this. So check out a couple of the photos. I accumulated a lot of film cameras when I lived in Asheville working at a film store. I think it's kind of just one of those things you eventually accumulate more and more because good deals come in, or you know, things like that. So my next purchase was the Nikon FM2. You've seen this if you've watched my other videos. I have this camera when I shot HP5 versus Tri-X. I love this camera. It is fantastic. It's such a pretty camera. It's such a nostalgic camera. It's amazing. I originally bought it to use some of my other Nikon lenses on this body. I tried that in California. It didn't work out because of the electronic f-stop that was on the lens, but that's all good. I love this camera. It's currently broken as well. It needs to go and be repaired. I let one of my friends try to shoot film with it for their first time ever, and they put their finger straight through the curtains in the back. So shout out, Gunk. Love you, buddy. It's all good. I'll get it fixed one of these here days. But here's a couple of photos from it. I really do love this camera. I want to get back to using it again. The only thing that I don't like about it is when you go to take a photo, you have to have the advance lever pushed out, and that kind of bothers me when I'm shooting vertically because it pokes me in the forehead. But other than that, no big deal. So yep, here's some photos from it. So I wanted to get a little bit more serious about film photography in my other, you know, kind of job area, which is wedding videography. So I wanted to try to offer film photography as a wedding package. So I got this Canon EOS Elan 7, or Elan 7, however you want to say it, from a good friend of mine. Shout out NSG Mike. This one just seemed a little bit more professional than my other Canon Rebel. So I really like this one. It's more advanced. Its eye tracking kind of thing is really good. It's all of its focus tracking is really, really nice on this camera. Here's a couple of shots that I actually shot at a wedding a few months ago. I absolutely love this camera. I think it's really awesome for what I need. The only thing, my only real gripe is I need more lenses for it, but they are expensive. So yeah, but I really do love this camera. It has a really good feel to it. It feels like a professional film camera, you know, if we're still talking 35mm. So here it is. And last but certainly not least on my collection list is my Mamiya 645J. I love this camera. I have the waist level viewfinder on it right now, but I do have a prism finder as well. This camera is awesome. I love this camera so much. I was talked into buying this camera because my friend Josh, shout out Josh, came into Ball Photo when I was working there with a 645 Pro, and I had never seen one. I always wanted one. He let me check it out, pretty reluctantly at the time, I will add. And I knew from then I was just kind of hooked. And then a guy named Mason, shout out Mason, was selling this camera with a bunch of film on Instagram. I had known him from a few car things, and it was just meant to be. So I messaged him and ended up buying the camera like 2 days later. So I love this camera to death. It's very clean. It is in such good shape. The only thing is the advance, if you can tell, I don't have film in there. I don't know that it'll pick up. I don't have film in it right now, and the counter still says 7 on it. Only downside of this camera is the rewind is a little bit sticky, so you have to actually manually rewind it from inside. Super easy, no big deal. Here's a couple of photos from this camera. So that's it. That's my entire film camera array. It's kind of a lot, kind of not a lot. Let me know if you have more or less than I do, or let me know what, film camera you think that I should get next. I haven't shot film in a little while, so maybe I need to get back into it. But I've been wanting to make this video for a while, just kind of going through all of my film cameras that I own. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Peace.